Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Dawn Melanie. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of my series titled Managing Self, where I share with you, my listeners, how I deal with MS successfully for the past 20 years and counting. Today, I'll start with a story that takes me back to 13 years ago, a Christmas party, 2005. 13 years ago, I had a major life shift, or shall I say life change. Went from being a gainfully employed corporate auditor to a disabled woman. The party was so emotional. I was going through the worst MS relapse I've had, even to this date. Yet I was at the party. Yes, I was at the party. And people saying, wait. Was I putting my health in jeopardy? Was I not supposed to be at the party having fun with my friends and my family, my fiance? Was I supposed to be having good food? Was I supposed to do what everybody expected me to do? That is sit at home with a woe is me attitude, perhaps, because, you can't walk, Dawn. You're having problems walking, your hands are hurting, you touch cotton and you go, ouch. Cotton actually, to this day, by the way, guys, when I rub cotton, soft plush, I don't care what it is, cashmere, what have you, my hands hurt. It's been over 13 years, and that's one of the residuals of that relapse that I had back then 13 years ago. But I know that I'm going through all this stuff. My walking was affected back then tremendously. My hands were hurting, my feet. I couldn't even feel the bottoms of my feet. And people were like, what are you doing at the party? What are you doing? What are you doing dancing at the party? That's what I wanted to do. Again, they're like, are you jeopardizing your health? I don't think I was. It made me feel better getting out and doing something. That is, I was doing what I can do. I couldn't do everything. I couldn't bust the moves like maybe I could have. But I was doing what I can do. And that made me feel positive. It made me feel good. So I was doing what I wanted to do, or what I was able to do. And doing what so many of us, what so many of us claim. All of us warriors out there, we claim that I have MS, but it doesn't have me. Sure, whatever. I know I couldn't walk a straight line then. I still can't walk a straight line, but I couldn't do certain things. I can't do a jumping jack. I still can't do that. I mean, I couldn't appreciate the cashmere shawl that I had on to keep my shoulders warm. Yes, it was December. Yes, I had a cocktail dress on. Yes, it was sleeveless and backless. Yes, I was cold. But damn it, I looked good. It was a hot looking dress. I'm like, okay, what? I can't do like what every woman here wants to do at this party. Look good, look sexy. No, I did. I went to the party, I had fun. I didn't do what people expected or what MS thought it could limit me in doing. I went for it all. I had gusto. I was like, you know what? You're gonna do it right. Don't do it half-assed. Go and do it right. Don't let MS dictate what you're gonna do or don't do. You do you. I did that. I did me. Dawn did Dawn. Now, people say, well, you really went to the dance, pardon me, to the party and dance? I said, well, yeah, I sure did. And it's like, well, what did they say? I said, well, no one said anything to me. But, I do realize that, it may have been a little questionable to someone who didn't know the situation. But yeah, the managing director, the managing partner was there, and he greeted me and my fiance, and we had a good time. He knew that I wasn't on any engagement because I was home on leave, or short-term disability. So I didn't feel any negative vibes or weird vibes there. I was upfront, truthful, honest about the situation. Hey, I'm here, I'm having fun. I still couldn't go on an engagement and give my all. I mean, I was like, well, it's not like I'm lying about anything. It just looks like, well, she's here having fun, but having fun at a party for a couple of hours is a lot different than being on an audit engagement for 8 to, who knows, 11, 12 hours in a day, which, yeah, that would be kind of exhausting, especially mentally. There's a lot of mental grind that goes along with that. So, I was honest with him. No big deal. It was so funny because it was similar to when I remember, let's see what year is this, 6 years. Yeah, 6 years prior to that, I was working in internal audit at a different firm, and I don't forget the director of audit. He called me to inform me about my raise. I raised my bonus for the year. It was December, and I thought, okay, great, that's cool, Michael. Then he kind of slyly goes on to an inquiry of, hey, Dawn, was that you on Channel 5 News yesterday? And I was like, yeah, that was me on the Sharecmaster with my radiantly glowing skin and my perfectly touched up makeup for the camera. Yeah, that was me, Michael. And, he goes, okay. People are like, going, what are you doing, Dawn? You're at the gym. You're supposed to be on short-term disability. I said, that's correct. I was at the gym. I am on short-term disability because I do have MS. Well, at the time, I didn't know I had MS. I didn't know what was going on with me, but I knew that that's something that I could do and kind of, I guess, release endorphins in a healthy way to me, to my brain, that could feel better than not being depressed, or actually reap the health benefits of working out. A little cardio here, a little weightlifting, no big deal. But some people thought that was just, oh, I can't believe she's doing that. So many times I get that, and this is, I always think of my mom. I'm like, oh, what, people just don't understand, and that's not my job to make them understand. I'm willing to talk about it if you ask me a question, but please don't make an assumption, because I don't think I know that you don't know my entire situation because you've never lived in my shoes my entire life. So it's okay. I told my friends that, yeah, I talked to my director, no big deal. Even though I never forget my best friend, she was like, just blatantly, she was like, oh my gosh, how could you do that? That's just ridiculous in my opinion. You know what? I don't care about your opinion. I told her, I'm like, seriously, it doesn't affect what I do. It doesn't affect my health. It doesn't affect how I'm going to overcome my challenges, how I am going to overcome my challenges. They're mine. You stay in your lane. You do you. Let Dawn do Dawn. Yep, that's what I did. I let Dawn do Dawn. My mom drove me to the gym. By the way, guys, my mom, she actually came out to Texas for 3 months to take care of me. I couldn't drive, so she literally drove me to the gym, waited till I finished working out, drove me home, cooked my lunch, then I took a nap shortly thereafter. Thanks, Mom. See, this is what people don't see. They're like, oh, were you at the gym? Yeah, but I got MS. Didn't know I had MS. All I know is something's really jacked with my body and making me ridiculously, miserably tired. I wasn't ashamed. I wasn't scared. I was not fearful of telling the truth. Telling the truth to my, the managing partner, to my director. I wasn't fearful to hold any information back. And I gotta say, I damn sure wasn't scared. Pardon me, I wasn't scared when I did the robot, or my version of doing the robot dance, down the Soul Train line at that Christmas party 13 years ago. Or I wasn't ashamed or afraid when I bowled, I think, 2 or 3 pins shy of the winner of all the employees. I bowled just 2 pins shy of my managing director. It was kind of funny. Whatever. Again, it was what it was. I'm pretty competitive when it comes to sports, and I wasn't gonna throw the game just because I'm supposed to be quote unquote sick. No, I'm Dawn, and I'm gonna give it my all every time. So there's no I guess there's no shame in my game about being me. I've recently taken on this this way of thinking of, basically, I'm unapologetically me, which means I'm not sorry for being me. I do understand that I did push some boundaries. Okay, she's at the party, she's dancing, she's at the gym, she's working out, she's at Six Flags amusement park, she's riding roller coasters. Which I didn't. I don't think I should have done that because, I think it really did aggravate my Lhermitte syndrome. The Batman ride was smooth, but anyway, I should have done that. See, I pushed the boundaries and I paid the price. But each of these situations, I did push the boundaries because I was mindful of me. I knew what I was going through and how it would make me feel, positive and negatives. I was mindful and I was aware how things looked to an onlooker looking in, yet I knew what things were. Things that most people can't see nor ever truly 100% appreciate, because invisible symptoms are just that. They're invisible to the naked eye by an onlooker, but boy, oh boy, do we feel them, the trials and tribulations that come along with it, the pain, the fatigue, the hurt. Things people don't see, the despair. It's hard to be okay, I'm working 50 something hours a week, and I'm hopping a plane here, going to this city, going to this country, and I'm in control, I'm doing things, and then not to have that anymore taken from me like that, just because what? MS. MS exacerbation says, well, you can't walk, or you can't talk, or you're stuttering, or you can't move your hand, or you're dropping stuff. MS can just take it away like that. I know, I've been there. I am there. But my point is, I don't want to stay there. So what I've done is I've taken actions to move on and get out of that situation to the best of my abilities. And I'm thinking, what, this is trait. How do you people say, how do you do that? How are you so active? How do you do all this with MS? I said, well, they open the door. I tell them, well, fitness has always been an integral part of my life. Like I said, even when I didn't know I had MS, I was still working out. And I try not to be a recluse or a total introvert, not get out into the world, but I appreciate, I welcome support. I'm thankful for any support that I have dealing with any situations that I have tough times to go through. Yeah, the truth is hard, and I don't have to bear it all by myself. That's what friends and family, development of a good support system is critical to get through it. We can't do it alone. Of course, we can't do it without God, but it's also important to have at least even a couple good friends who we can talk to and not fear any judgment by them. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and say, I think I do this almost every show, but MS, life, MS is just a fragment of my life, or just one angle or that I'm dealing with. But another one that everyone out there is dealing with as well, I'm sure, probably most are relationships. Either relationships with your family or friends, with boyfriends, girlfriends, with spouses. And I'm always like, oh gosh, MS is kind of like a relationship. I look at what do you think the most important thing of a healthy relationship is? That's so easy. That's truth. What's the most important thing with MS? Well, that's easy. My nerves, the conduction of how everything is relayed. MS is basically damage to the myelin sheath covering our nerve fibers. So if there's damage on our nerves, our connections to our brain signals, like how to walk, how to talk, how to do basic things, how we hear, our vision, our sight, how we hear, it can all affect that. Our touch. If our signals are messed up, then things will get messed up. So our nerves and things like that is important and very critical. I look at truth as nerves. People say, don't get on my nerves. Sometimes, unfortunately, that's just what MS does. It gets on our nerves. It gets on our nerves and really messes us up. Same thing with the truth. In a relationship, I say don't lie to me. Because when truth is destroyed, it can be quite devastating. Just like when MS nerve fibers are destroyed, it can be quite devastating. All the relapses I've had, the vision loss, the hearing loss, several times, the inability to walk, inability to drive, inability to use my hand, the intentional tremors, shaking, and things like that. Well, again, all because of that integral factor that was destroyed, But again, like I said, I don't look at the glass as half empty, it's half full. Or look at the nerves as just all damaged. I look at them as repairable. I don't care how it looks or how it feels. Yeah, it's wrong. There can be a wrong that has occurred, but there's always two options, and I have the choice. Well, I should say I make the choice. The choice is mine. The options are either I do something about my, my demyelination or the damaged nerves that I have. Either I take a disease-modifying therapy in hopes that it'll repair them or at least slow the progression of the disease. Similar to a relationship. When there's trust that's been damaged, or shall I say, or destroyed. When trust has been destroyed, we can either say goodbye, maybe just leave the relationship. Maybe this isn't for me. Now, unfortunately, with MS, I don't have the option to do that. I still have to deal with it whether I want to or not. So, that's why I said be your own self-advocate with your health, but with everything in your life. Don't blame others. People oftentimes point a finger and say, well, this happens to me because of this. Really? I can say, well, I have MS because of this, or man, I fell because of MS, or I'm tired and something because of MS, and that's why I didn't work out, and that's why I gained 25 pounds last week. How about this one? I didn't even bother going to the gym. I didn't even bother getting up, even though I got up and watched TV and played around with the computer and talked on the phone, walked around the house, doing nothing. I made a choice to not really even go to the gym when I was capable. I can drive. If I don't go to the gym, I can drive. Sunny day, perfect weather, 82 degrees, and I sit my butt at home watching some stupid stuff on the computer, just wasting time mindlessly. Really? Is that gonna help me? Help my legs get strong, or keep my legs stronger to where I can hopefully deal with a fall. Is that what I'm gonna choose to do? I hope not. For employment, I'd say, hey, if I got terminated, well, basically, I no longer worked 13 years ago, September of 2005. I was forced to depart companies with my former employer. But, okay, well, can I say that I gave it my all? Well, yeah, I did give it my all. I tried to go to work. I tried to cover up the fact that I was stuttering every time I tried to say something and answer the phone, that I couldn't take notes because my hand was shaking uncontrollably from the intentional tremors, but I gave it my all, so I don't feel guilty about that. But if right now I don't go to work full time, and if I choose not to, let's use the gym. But if I choose not to go to the gym when it's a perfect day and I have all this energy, I'm taking my fatigue reducing medication, and I decide to sit on my ass and do nothing. Well, you know what? That's me. I chose to do that, so I can't blame anybody or anything for me sitting at home and maybe my legs getting weaker, or me not reaching my goals as far as physical fitness is concerned. I take the blame. If I don't communicate that that I'm having difficulties that have escalated since my prior visit with my neurologist, if I don't communicate to him, that's my fault. It's pertinent that I keep an open line of communication between us regarding my MS status, because it concerns me and my health. That's very important to me. So if I choose not to do that, then something else must be more important that I choose to do that instead. Kind of like a relationship. If someone fails at a relationship, not fails at a relationship, but let's say there's some sort of loss or breached trust for whatever reason. Well, if the offender in the situation finds it difficult to admit their offense and why it was bad, but if they fail to communicate why actions were taken that led to a trust breakdown, he or she may already be in a black hole. When I say a black hole, I don't mean like outer space, but a black hole consuming their self-respect. Something out there is more important than the relationship between you and that person. That's not all you, if any at all, your responsibility or your, I don't know, because of you. It's obvious something other than the relationship is more important to them, and this is why they behaved as they have. Maybe it's just a gain self-pleasure feeling impulses. How does it relate to MS? Well, sometimes I know I've been at a party and want to partake in dipping in the hot tub. It looks relaxing and peaceful and soothing and all that stuff. Well, I knew that I did not need to be subjected to warm waters. And, well, what happened to my legs turned into spaghetti legs, as we call it. I knew that. That's the risk I took. And, I suffered the consequences. Similar to a relationship, trust is broken. There's a... Trust can be broken, but it doesn't mean that the relationship has been severed. I can encounter a flare-up or MS exacerbation, but it doesn't mean that my disability has turned so far south that it can't be returned to a baseline level of my physical abilities, or even made better with some either medication, some physical work, and things of that nature, maybe better eating, things like that. So my point is, there's two options we're all faced with at that point. We can address it and do something about it, or we can just sit back and just let it be. But more importantly, I want to stress this because I think this is even more important than doing or don't doing something. But note that trust can be broken down pretty damn quickly, and severed. Once it's broken down, it's broken down. But completely severed, or you're really cutting the rope with the more repetition of that trust being broken down. Lie after lie after lie. I'm sorry, lie again. I'm sorry, lie again. It'll be broken down so quickly. And we got to realize that even though it can be broken down quickly and severed more with repetition, that it takes time. It takes time to repair that and rebuild the trust, if it's possible at all. Sure, I consider a much warranted, succinct explanation is necessary. However, actions speak louder than words, and we're going to need to see actions over and over and over again before we can rebuild the trust that we thought we had or did have before. With MS, we can take medicine to kind of suppress our flare-ups or kind of reduce the inflammation causing the problems, but usually it's not a one-time thing, which is why, I know I've taken my last medication over 8.5 years, 112 or so infusions every 28 days. I just didn't say, okay, I'm good now. And actually, although I haven't taken anything for almost 3 months, I'll be starting my next medication, my next disease-modifying therapy, and in about 4 weeks. And it's interesting because, well, again, I'm not out of the woods with my MS. So the thing is, it's something I have to work on every day. Working on anything that's important to me is what I'm going to put at the forefront of my game plan for the day. And just because things are going good doesn't mean I can't ignore them. Just like if things are going bad, I can't throw my hands in the air and walk away. No, I have to be an adult and face up to it. And as we say, own it. Own it. Some people may say, man, that sucks. gosh, over 20 years we've been dealing with MS and taking different medicines, and you're changing again. It's okay. It's okay. MS just feels like, sometimes I feel like MS is always trying to challenge me, like to prove me. I think MS challenges me to prove how strong I am. I know I'm pretty strong, but MS is like, okay, yeah, okay, how am I going to get her? So, that's fine. I'm making a change on my disease modifying therapy. The sixth change I think I've made in 20 years now, because, well, there's some issues there that if I continue the current medication, I may risk having deadly brain disease. So I'll look at the empirical evidence, which I do in every situation, whether it be my medical, health, in a business sense, even relationships. I like to look at empirical evidence. That means hard facts. Remember I said my mom was like, the truth hurts? Yeah, sometimes the truth does hurt. She's absolutely correct. But it is the truth. And people can say, well, your truth is not my truth. I hear you, but how about this? My reality isn't your reality. You'll never walk as many days as I walked in my shoes. So my reality is not your reality, but empirical evidence, is it raining right now outside of my house or is it not? Yes or no questions like that. Gaining that empirical evidence is very, very important for us to make. It's important for me to make decisions because I don't want to make a decision based on emotions. A lot of women get emotionally wrapped into something, and MS MS can bring us into some very low states of mind. So I don't want to be that person, especially now that Christmas is coming up and hey, we're supposed to be happy, right? Yay! By the way, I am happy about Christmas, and I will be celebrating Christmas next week with my husband, with my mom and dad, celebrating the most precious gift that each of us could ever have. And that is the gift of life. This has been Dawn Melanie, and as always, I thank you for listening to Managing Self. And until next week's program, I hope you all have a blessed week. Until then, may you all have a very productive week managing yourself with the strongest backbone that you can. Whatever you decide to do in life, whatever your options are, whatever road you decide to track, take it, do it with gusto and with a strong backbone and confidence.